I have had the absolute pleasure of getting to know Miss Kat Satterley over the last evening, and she is quite a fun gal. What a great lady. All around awesome person, here to talk to you a little bit more about her work that she's done with various school districts, county offices. She's just a real dynamic lady. She's also won Teacher of the Year, and you're going to find out why, because she's got a lot of passion and energy around this work. Please welcome Kat to the stage.
All right. Well, now I have to live up to that introduction. So happy to be here. Thank you all for being here today. I switched things up here last minute because my amazing co-presenters here did such a great job really explaining local wellness policy and the USDA final rule and the things that need to be in your policy, and that was what I was going to talk about. So I'm not going to be redundant. Instead, we're going to do some hands-on work and get you into the website where you can access resources. And today I'm going to show you the Wellness Policy Builder that is available for you. So for those of you maybe that are just starting out and are just learning about building a wellness policy, have not written one before, maybe your district has one that is really bare bones and not well formed, this is going to help you to build a better policy and really just sort of get that foundation down, and then you can build upon it from there. And we also have the tools built in on this dashboard to to measure implementation of those policies at the school level, if you so desire to use them. So the account that I'm going to have you create right now, I need you to go to healthiergeneration.org. You can do it on your phone, or you could do it on your laptops. And you'll create a free account. It's going to take a minute because you do get an email notification, but I want you to get in here and get your hands dirty with me and play around. That way you can start to feel comfortable with the technology. It is quite user-friendly. So healthiergeneration.org. Oops. And then if you also want to just jot down help@healthiergeneration.org, and then my email, which is my personal email. After the mid-month, I will no longer be with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. I just accepted a job with the Orange County Department of Education. So I'll be moving on, but I'll be doing this exact same work for Orange County Department of Education using these tools and resources. So I want to get them into your hands and familiarize you with them. Okay, so once you're at healthiergeneration.org, you're going to go to upper right-hand corner and click on Go to the Action Center. And then you can go ahead and create your account. I know a few people in the room already have an account. And even if you're not working on wellness policy, there are tons of resources in all areas of whole child health. So I urge you to create your free account. We are not going to blast you. We do send out a newsletter with lots of brand new resources once we've created them or vetted them. And you can unsubscribe to that email if you want to. So don't worry that you're going to start getting phone calls and we're going to try to sell you things. We are a nonprofit. Everything that we offer is free. So go ahead and create your account by putting in your email and creating a password, creating your Action Center account. So once you've created that account, you'll get the email, and you'll click on the email like most account creation, and then you'll be able to log in. Once you've logged in, you'll be prompted to choose a district or school from the drop-down menus. So you can go ahead and choose the district that you're working for or with. And then it will prompt you to choose your role. It may not be the exact role. Yes. Then you don't need to join the school team if you don't want to. Your account is already created, and then you can just follow me up here and you can still access resources with your account. If you are associated with a school, you won't have access to the policy builder. It's a district level tool. But you will still have access to all of the resources. If you're working on the policy, be sure to join a district. Raise your hand if you need another minute to get into your dashboard. Okay, great. Yeah. So your account is being approved by a real person because clearly anybody off the street could come in here and create an account and try to get into your dashboard. So we just make sure that the email is usually associated with a school, school district, or an organization. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you've already created the account, maybe haven't been approved yet, that's okay. You can just follow up here with me, but now you have access, you'll get approved, so later on you can get in there and do this yourself. So once you're in, the district will have a dashboard that looks like this, right? So this is my test district, so it's Bread District, and of course my schools are Focaccia, Pita, Pumpernickel, Rye Junior High, okay? So we've got the schools listed underneath. And so, when we talk about measuring implementation, what's great as a district person is that you have access to see what's happening in all of your school accounts here. And when they've completed the assessment, if that's something you're going to have them do, we aggregate that data and send reports to you. And you also can access reports here. We'll get back to that in a second. So on the left-hand menu here, I'm going to click on Policy Builders. So we have two different policy builders. One is the Tobacco-Free District Policy Builder and the Wellness Policy Builder. So we'll focus on the Wellness Policy Builder here. It's really quite simple. So I click on that, and then I'm going to scroll up and down here just so you can see what is in this policy builder, right? So we have an introduction, how to build your wellness policy. And we have policy set up, so you'll input some information. And then you'll go through each of these sections answering questions. Now, the great thing about this is that it includes all of the required language. So you don't have to go through and, go to the websites and find all the language and then put it in. It's already here for you. Okay, and then you can also add additional language based on what your district or the district that you're working with is doing and the improvements that they want to make. So I can simply go in here, I'll just click in the first part, ready to build it. How does this work? You read through this, and we also have our model wellness policy. All right, so that's made accessible to you here. And I would advise that before getting in there, you've probably, maybe done some triennial assessment work, so you've compared your policy to a model wellness policy. Often districts compare their policy to our model wellness policy, right? So this is, of course, a very long document. This is the table of contents, and you can see we kind of have it mapped out in the same way that the policy builder is built. So that's helpful to follow along. So if you want to first look at the model wellness policy, see what the components are, and then get into the policy builder and start digging in and answering the questions. So you would set it up with your district information. What's your district's name, address, are these correct? And then you just click the next button. What do you want the title of your wellness policy to be? Local wellness policy, the district's wellness policy name, anything you want to put in here. You can add your own text and personalize each of these sections. Would you like to include a preamble? Yes or no? If you want to include a preamble, you can also add your own text to that as well. Yeah, so you're in the Wellness Policy Builder, which is on the left side menu. So you just click into that, and then you have these various sections, how to build your wellness policy. You start with clicking on each of the boxes, right, and then answering the questions. And, like technology these days, it looks like it's complicated. You might be afraid to click on things, like you might screw something up. You cannot screw it up. You can undo anything you've did and change it at any time, right? So this will also continue to ask you questions. So then you're just clicking through the questions, answering the questions. You're going to list your Wellness Council members. You can put their names in there. Have they all been added? Yes. So you're just answering, clicking boxes. Now this gets into it a little bit heavier. Which of the following recommended best practices would you also like to include? So this is going to require you to read through each of these and decide what additional components, practices, policy you're going to add to your local wellness policy. And again, you can, in each section, you can choose other and add your own text if it's not here for you to choose from on this particular list. You go through answering the questions. It'll ask you, it'll have all of the nutrition and physical activity language from the USDA final rule. It does not have California specific nutrition requirements because we serve the entire nation. So you would then add those in those text box if that's going to be written into your policy. And then of course you have physical activity goals, best practices that you can add in there in the physical activity section in similar fashion to what I just showed you. So I can just click on this, for example, daily recess best practices. You can click on all of them, just a few of them. You're going to work with your committees to decide what you're going to add, okay? Other activities that promote student wellness. We have a section on that too. Again, suggestions of what to include and places for you to add text. There's a glossary. Would you like to include the glossary? Just say yes. Right? You want to have that in there too. That's going to be helpful for people that are going to be reading. You want parents involved in helping to build your local wellness policy, teachers, students, people that are representing all of the areas of wellness from the district level to be on your district wellness council or committee and to help with this work, to make a robust local wellness policy. Yesterday, for those of you that were here, you may have heard Crystal mention, don't just take a model wellness policy and photocopy it and make it yours. Now, I have worked with districts that have done that. They see our model wellness policy, they love it, and they just print it out and they make it their own. And then, of course, my question to them is, how are you going to ensure that you have provided the resources in order for this to happen? And then they shrug their shoulders. And so there has to be a lot of, thought put into this, mindfulness. If you're going to add other components to your wellness policy, just be sure that your district is going to be able to provide the support for your schools to be able to implement. Now, once I'm done, I can preview this, the top. I can scroll up to the top. I can preview my policy. So it will populate in here. And everything that is required is not highlighted. And anything that I've personalized, either added, clicked on and added, or added in the text box, will show up here in yellow. So you know what it is that you've added and can review that and ensure that that's something you want to be there. And then, of course, you can go back into the builder and make your changes as necessary. What I always recommend is to just download it. It downloads into a Word doc. It's not numbered, it doesn't have Roman numerals, so you get to organize it the way that you want. Remember, even if you're somebody here that's working with a school or working at a school and you're like, well, wellness policy, not really my lane, it's important that every school understands that. So maybe you're the one that can really help your school to better understand what the policies are and how to ensure that they're being implemented at your school. So along with this, we also have assessments. So the district has what we call the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment, which is a very large, long assessment, which covers all the areas of whole child health. And I'm just going to give you a quick peek here. So these are the areas that are covered: advancing core policies and practices. Go on down the list, including enriching health education, supporting health services, reducing chronic absenteeism, addressing school discipline. And this was really built to show where there is overlap. So if you're working in physical activity or in nutrition, right, we know that making sure that kids have breakfast is something that is important in making sure that kids get to school. Providing physical activity opportunities, addressing chronic health conditions, those all play a part in chronic absenteeism. So the chronic absenteeism section, for example, is made up of questions from other sections. Right? So these are all the best practices that will help you to reduce that chronic absenteeism. It's a very long list. We take small bites, small steps, do one goal at a time, maybe two, sometimes three, if you're brave, and start making incremental changes. And this is how we do the work, right? We can't jump in and make all these improvements at once. Some are not your lane, but this is why we have to collaborate and coordinate. And this is how the WISC model is built, right? Around the center of the WISC model, coordination of policies, practices, and processes. That is the hard part of the WISC model. Sure, we've all got family engagement departments, nutrition departments, we've got PE, PA people working at the district level, but are people actually collaborating? Right? And this is a tool that is designed to help you collaborate and show you where you can really help one another, where you can leverage best practices to get the results that you want in each of your desired topic areas, okay, or topics that you're focused on in your particular position. So with that, we also have, as I mentioned, focaccia school, some good bread, They also have their version of the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment. I'll go into here, improving nutrition and food access. And then each school lead would go in and answer all these questions. So simply clicking on the question, to what extent does your school use trauma-informed approach to implement policies and practices regarding nutrition and food access? And then you will see the fully in place criteria. Our school uses all 6 elements of trauma-informed approach to implement policies and practices regarding nutrition and food access, including these 6 components of trauma-informed approach. Okay, so this is kind of a heavy duty goal. This is not something that happens overnight. You may be addressing it now a little bit, but not fully. So maybe it's not fully in place, it's just partially in place. Now, there's a lot more you can do with the dashboard. We have an action planning tool. I don't have enough time to share that with you right now, but since this measures the implementation of that great wellness policy that you can build on the dashboard, you have this built into the dashboard as well. And there's a place in here to add notes and tasks. So if I'm on the school wellness site, I can add my notes and tasks in here and have my team work towards those goals, and that's right in here. And then we also have reporting. So for example, when Kate and I work together, Kate will say, hey, Kat, can you get me a report? Now, there are some reports that I can only get on the back end from Healthier Generation. So you can work with membership, which was the help at Healthier Generation, to get reports if you decide to use this tool. But you also have reports at your fingertips. So if I'm here at Vakasha Elementary School, I can pull up reports of my school, which will show me all of the answers, how we've answered those, and we can do things like color code them. We can organize them in such a way to present that data to my committee so we can discuss, hey, we're not really doing this well. We are not implementing the local wellness policy. And the district, so when Kate asked me, I need to look at a report of the aggregate data, the district can pull a report from the dashboard that shows aggregate data from all of your schools. So now you can see which schools are implementing the policies, where they're not, the trends of where people are really not meeting specific best practices. So for example, you'll get that report and you'll see, 85% of our schools are not implementing best practices around family engagement. So maybe this is an area where we really need to put funds and energy and work towards. Okay, so it's just really another tool to help you focus where you put your time, money, and energy, and also help you to make improvements on your wellness policy. I'm going to pause there because there's a lot more here that we don't have time to get into, but I'm open to your questions. You probably have a lot about the dashboard because it's the first time you're looking at it. I just had to do a quick run through here with you. Like I said, please play with it. Just get in there and play with the district wellness policy builder. Look at the questions, look at what else is available from the left side menu. And this is for folks like the gentleman in the back who said that he is not interested in the dashboard. When you click on resources, we have a plethora of resources available for you here. They are tagged. That's the best way I think that you can search for them. So you can search for chronic absenteeism resources, community involvement, discipline, so on and so forth. And you can see the type of resources that we have. We also have free trainings that are available. Some of the most popular ones are around social emotional health. One of them is called Filling Your Cup, Comprehensive Self-Care for Educators. We have one called Forming Meaningful Relationships. So we have e-learnings and we have webinars available free for you. Please look at them and use them when you think about the kind of things that you want to make improvements upon. I'm sure that there's something in here that can be useful for you. Questions? Comments? Concerns? Compliments? No applause, just throw money. Okay, yeah, that's quite a bit. So go ahead and get in there, check it out. Free for you, free for your teachers. They can also create accounts. I would suggest that, when you send an email out and say, hey, you want to create an account or you have membership help you with that they do not join the district team, but they can access the resources, right? Because if you do decide to use the assessment, we don't want 1 million people in there on the team changing answers to questions, so on and so forth. So Get help at Healthier Generation, or reach out to me if you have questions. I am going to be doing this work for Orange County Department of Ed, so I can still answer your questions and have access to this to show you some things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kat. That was incredible to see those resources. I know a lot of us are going to be on there looking for some support with our wellness policy. I, too, did not realize how easy that was, and I got on there, and I'm ready to go. So thank you very much for that. Just a fantastic resource, and thanks for traveling today for your presentation.